Dashing Through the Snow. I'm so glad that is just the theme.
Hey Jim, sorry to interrupt. There's a call coming in from the North Pole. Should I put it on the house speakers?
For me? Yeah, go ahead, sure. Thanks, Kirk.
Hello. I'm sorry to interrupt your party over there, but this is Al calling. I'm one of Santa's elves up here at the North Pole Workshop. Now, I know the boss, Santa, is supposed to be playing with you folks, but when he gets there, could you be kind enough to tell him that I called?
Sure, Al, no problem.
You see, we're having some serious problems with our production machine, and we're really under a tight schedule to get this machine up and running as fast as we can. I wanted to keep the boss, Santa, up to speed as to what we're doing to get the problem fixed. I know when he hears about this, he ain't going to be too happy about it. He really gets cranky when he hears bad news like this. And that's one side of Santa you don't want to see. He's normally a pretty mild and jolly elf. When something like this happens, though, you'll know what they mean when they sing, "He's making a list and checking it twice," if you know what I mean. So right now, I just want to keep Santa up to speed as to what we're doing to fix the problem. So would you please tell him that I called?
Sure, Al, no problem. Do so.
Thank you very much. And again, I'm sorry to intrude on your concert. Bye.
Bye, Al. Okay, well, remind me, I gotta tell Santa. Well, again, as I was saying, thank you, Kirk, for the phone call. As I was saying, welcome to Dashing Through the Snow. I'm so glad it's just the theme of the show and not the theme of the night outside.
Right.
We want to thank, first of all, our friends, the Fireside Singers, for joining us again this year. It's such a joy to have you with us. The Fireside Singers folks. And of course, the band. Stand up for a minute, guys. Canton band. And if you notice, we have brand new decorations everywhere, and they are the creative genius of our decorations team, chaired and led by Deb Chilko. Guys, stand up. I want you to be recognized. Deb Chilko. The Iris Street is by, where are you, Linda? Linda? Bedard? Right there. Stand up. Thank you, Linda. We also have your wonderful husband, Skip Bedard. The master craftsman doing all the woodwork to such fine detail. Jack Keelan, stand up, Jack. And of course, we have others on the team, Nicole, and we appreciate it. Not only do you play wonderful music, but you do things like this to make everything else so beautiful. So, on we go to the next. It's the holiday season.
Well, sure, now you better show me something, or I'll have to pound the sleigh. Well, I tell you what, I'll be right back. I gotta go through these doors and say hello to a few friends. Well, hello, Jimmy, my good friend.
Ah, it's Santa.
Sorry I'm late.
What was all of that? Have you been naughty, Santa?
He's on the naughty list.
He's on the naughty list.
For many years, and he has never forgiven me. Well, I've come to listen to the band.
Well, good. We're glad to have you. You're able to sit in again this year?
Well, absolutely.
Oh, well,
I'm
good.
sorry
Because
I'm
you know
late.
that slacker, Canton.
He's a slacker. He's on the naughty list.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's never, once again, he's not able to make it. I don't know. Last year was a bronze waxing, a Brazilian wax. Wow.
Well, this year I heard he's
No, he's
in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Hackensack.
He's speaking at the American Amalgamated International Board of Bacon.
Board of vaping?
Never. I'm never bored of bacon.
Not you, Santa, please.
Well, I would have been here sooner, but one of the reindeer had a flat hoof. Yes, I had to call Triple E.
Triple E.
Yeah, the Elf Expeditionary Emergency.
Oh, it just goes on.
Yeah, they hooked in some new tips and ready to go.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really? The Triple E came along, and do you remember which animal it was?
It's Dasher.
Dasher.
He's always been a problem.
Okay, well, I'm sure he's outside, or is he up on the roof?
He's in the back.
Oh, okay, all right.
I didn't trust him on the roof this year, after that incident last year.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're glad to have you. You take a seat. Actually, you're more in the middle this time because you're more of a star.
Well, that's debatable, but I'll gladly play.
Okay, well, thank you. We appreciate that. Everyone, Santa Claus. Santa, you around during intermission and afterwards as well, or what's your schedule like for us? Are you able to be around, Santa? We have to use our mics.
Well, yes, absolutely. I'll be at halftime and at the end.
Halftime. We'll be at halftime.
Well, you just can't get the
Before the
football.
kickoff of the second half.
We
Okay,
get,
good.
we get football on ENN, Elf News Network.
Okay, well. All right, well, thank you, Santa, for joining us. We'll look forward to having you play with us. You're always a treat to have around. The next piece we want to play for you actually is Brian's. Now, I introduced Fireside Singers, but the choral director for this wonderful group is Brian Long. Brian, share a few things about
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anybody not know what I'm talking about? I know you do, Emily. That's my sister. So this song is from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but not necessarily the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but this How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anybody seen that one? So if I'm not mistaken, there's a little girl that sings this song. And so this song is kind of, reflective in the regard of Christmas not necessarily being like as in the movie, all the stuff underneath the tree, all the decorations, but in your heart. And so we're going to share with you now a song I think has been made famous by Faith Hill. That's my wife, by the way. So I've been corrected by my wife and my sister-in-law. My mother-in-law is out here too. I'm just waiting for that one. She'll correct me after the show, I'm sure.
Where are you?
Thank you. Thanks, guys. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, because the band likes to hear me talk, tonight is trivia night for Christmas. So, if you know anything about Christmas at all, I probably won't be asking you those questions. But I do have a few things. Okay, so, just shout it out if you know these things. Tallest Christmas tree cut ever per Guinness Book of World Records. Anyone? No? Oh. I appreciate the attitude. Really good. And it's right out there. Wrong, but right there. It was good. Yeah, it's not bad. 221 feet. 221 feet. Northgate Shopping Mall, Seattle, Washington, 1950. First year, Hallmark printed Christmas cards. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. Anyone? 1915. Good job. The first year for an official postage stamp by the post office for Christmas. You're off a little bit, but I still like the attitude. Anyone? 1962. Yeah? You're doing well, though. At least you're in there with me. I appreciate it. Okay, I guess we're ready to go, so more later. And I really, I like to hear myself. I mean, the band likes to hear myself talk. So that's why I do this. So I'll have more for you later. As you can imagine, that is not an easy piece to play. Great job, guys. That is. Bill Grimes calls that Christmas through the looking glass. Well, now I want to turn it over to my partner in crime, our co-conductor, Ryan Hoffman. We're going to trade places.
Thank you. Hey, it's great to be here. That first piece was called Winter Rhapsody. Next one we're going to do is called Fantasia for Christmas. This is based off of Ukrainian bell carol, which was taken from a folk tune, and it's just a 4-note repeating rhythm. And you guys all know the song because we've heard this hundreds of different renditions of this. But what we're going to listen to today is Elliot Del Borgo's rendition of this tune.
Well, who are you? I have to call you not Jim. What is your name? I didn't catch it.
Okay, I'm Ryan Hoffman.
Well, welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to heckling you for a couple millennia.
How did you get that idea?
It's welcome aboard.
All right, thank you. All right, our next tune we're going to do is called Good Swing Wenceslas. This was arranged by a guy named Sammy Nestico, who was was a trombone player. He played with a lot of big bands of the day. But he was also an accomplished composer, arranger, orchestrator. Did a lot of stuff with the Air Force Band and Marines. But he was probably most known for his work as a long-time arranger for Count Basie. So enjoy this. All right, and that's it for the first half. We're going to take a 10-15 minute intermission, and we'll see you back. Thanks.
Pray for their safe return and pray for their families, because on Christmas morning they will have an empty chair. The little children will have their mother or their father not there to celebrate Christmas. So please, keep them in mind. Enjoy.
There are stockings full and waiting from sea to shining sea. Jingle bells are ringing, keys of liberty. Children celebrating Santa and his sleigh. Of reindeer who found their way again across the home of the brave. 'Tis the 25th day of December, in a season best to remember. The blessings and bows and mistletoes are not without tolls, guardian souls. A soldier has a soldier's duty that takes no holiday. So because you're far from home this winter, there's one thing I'd like to say. Thank you for the gift of freedom that lights these holy stars. Thank you for reaching every Christmas tree across this sacred land of ours. May angels fly beside you. May heaven steal your heart. May God remind you in His grace. Though tonight I cannot touch your face. Doesn't matter if you're near or far. It's Christmas where you are. Your chair is empty at the table. Still I take your hand. As we pray for peace in this small world, on our knees we stand. Of this body, of this nation, you are the heart and spine. So to each great generation of heroes down the line, thank you for the gift of freedom that lights these holy stars. Thank you for reaching every Christmas tree across this sacred land of ours. May angels fly beside you. May heaven steal your heart. May God remind you in His grace. Though tonight I cannot touch your face. Doesn't matter if you're near or far. It's Christmas where you are. Every day is Memorial Day. Every day the 4th of July. Let all religions celebrate the freedom that you provide. For if we stand together, we will never fall. Merry Christmas to the one I love. Merry Christmas to one and all. Thank you for the gift of freedom that lights these holy stars. Thank you for each and every Christmas tree across this sacred land of ours. May angels fly beside you. May heaven steal your heart. May God remind you in His grace. Though tonight I cannot touch your face. Home seems 100 million miles away. Just close your eyes and you will see His sleigh. It doesn't matter if you're near or far. It's Christmas where you are.
not my time yet, but Santa, I forgot to tell you. Where are you? Santa? Did you leave already? Santa? Santa? I forgot to tell you, some elf named Al called. Said there was a problem with your production machine. Very bad news, because, the naughty list and such. Come on.
Hey, Jim, that message you're talking about, I received it during intermission.
Oh, we did? Oh.
Yep, I received it on my new iPhone 11. Thanks, Santa. I guess I've been pretty good this year. Appreciate it. Would you like me to play that on the house speakers also, or?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Hey, boss. Oh, I mean, Santa. I just wanted to let you know that we got the machine up and running. And for you not to worry. It turned out we found the problem shortly after I called early. Unfortunately, one of the elves wasn't paying attention like he should. And he accidentally knocked over a bucket of holly berries and candy canes into the gear wheels of the machine. What a mess! But we were able to get all that sticky goop cleaned up, and the machine is back up and running smoothly, and on time, I might add. So you got nothing to worry about. We got it all covered up here, boss, so enjoy playing with the band and get plenty of rest for Christmas Eve. Believe me, you're going to need it. Oh, and by the way, boss, go easy on those cookies and milk on Christmas Eve. I know the kiddies love to leave those treats for you when you deliver those presents, but go easy. You know that by the time you get back up here to the North Pole, you're on a sugar high that takes you 4 days to come down from. So before I go, me and the guys want to deliver a special message to all the nice folks and kiddies down there at the concert. Okay, guys? Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas, everyone!
Oh, that was nice. Thanks, Al, wherever you are. That was nice. So, problem solved, so that's good. We can go on. Now I'll give you back to Ryan because he should be here and I should be back there. Ryan Hoffman again, please.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw open the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave way to midday objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blixen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling, I heard the roof, the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all!
right, thank you. The next tune we're going to do is called The Holly and the Ivy. It's an old British carol, but it was popularized, it was already kind of popular, but Chip Davis, who you might know from Mannheim Steamroller, did his own version of it, and he became kind of popular for doing these electronic / traditional instrument hybrid things. And so this is a well-known version of it. There's also U of M music grad, if anybody cares about that. But, so he's from here, which is kind of cool. So, here we go. All right, so my last piece tonight is called I Wonder as I Wander, which is not a piece that I was familiar with, but apparently a lot of people are. But there's kind of a story behind it. So the story goes, I'll probably mess up some of the names. In Appalachian, North Carolina, in 1933, there was an American folklorist, John Jacob Niles, and he happened to be in this town, and there was some kind of religious meeting fundraiser, and people were getting kicked out of town by the police, and so there's this thing going on, and he sees this little girl, and she's all got raggedy clothes on, and she's dirty, and, you know, kind of destitute, but she's singing this just fragment of a song, just the first line, and he's kind of captivated by it. And so he pays her a quarter each time she sings it. She does it like 7 times, according to the story. So he can record it, write it down, and then later on he goes and then completes this into the tune that we know today. So that's the story. Hope you like it. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to give it back to Jim.
Thanks. How about another hand for my partner, Ryan Hoffman? All right, well, the band during the intermission said, Jim, you're not talking enough tonight.
The one good thing about Ryan is he doesn't cast a glare as bad.
That's just not nice. Oh, yes, that's true, Santa. Anyway, so let's go back to trivia. I want to see how much you guys know, because this is almost fun. The first state to adopt Christmas as a state holiday. Anyone know? Go south. Close? Starts with an A. Alabama. 1836. The United States adopted it as an official holiday In what year? Close. 1870. And the last state. 37 years later, the last state to adopt it as a state holiday. Really? 37 years? It's really not okay. What state was it? I gave you it. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. The another story too. Now, did you guys watch the Santa Tracker at all? I mean, you know, I grab a beer, I'm sitting watching the tracker, waiting for Santa to show up. I don't know if you guys. No? Do you? Okay, well you should with your kids, because there is a very cool website out there called noradsanta.org. It has a tracker, it has a countdown, all that kind of thing. It has things to do. It has videos, it has information for you. It's really a cool website. The first time I'd seen it was this year when I'm doing a little bit more research on it. And the Santa Tracker, as you may know, especially if you've been here last year or the year before, the year before, the year before, the year before, I've told you the story about the Santa Tracker being actually originated with Con Ed. Now, Con Ed was a predecessor to NORAD. Con Ed was the Continental Air Defense System. And it was basically the United States. That was, then in 1958, Canada joined, and it became NORAD, so it was North American Air Defense. And NORAD today watches the skies and all the waterways in the US and Canada. It's kind of cool. Now with the Santa Tracker happened, well, it's 1955. Colorado Springs, a Sears store says, you know, let's put an ad out. We'll put a number to one of our stores here in Colorado Springs. The kids could call in and they could say, hey, what do you want for Christmas? And chat, that kind of thing. Well, when the ad came out, it actually misprinted the phone number, and it went to the director of operations for Con Ed at the time. Colonel Shoup was his name. And I mean, you know, this man, he's a director of operations. He's got a huge responsibility and lots of weight on his shoulders. He could have easily done what WC Fields and, hey, get away from me, kid, you're bothering me. But he didn't. He didn't. It's so cool. So he starts getting his first phone call, and he responds to the kid calling. So he tells his staff, every phone call that comes in tonight, I want you to tell him the coordinates of Santa's sleigh as he goes across the sky. So every kid that night was talking to a member of the staff of Con Ed, Continental Air Defense, and they were telling the kids where Santa was that night. Awesome. Very cool. So I've got more cool stories like that, but I guess we probably should sing and play.
No matter,
I don't know, I'm good. You know.
no matter how many times NORAD flies over the North Pole, they'll never find my secret castle. They can't.
On we go. This is On with the Snow. to all. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. Come on up. It's right there. See, I can't even see. Did you want Mike?
I'll do whatever the boss says, you know. We change the order. So the next song that we're doing, you notice that we came back out, we got all lots of fun hats going on, and we are having fun, for sure. But what we do want to do, though, is seriously just wish you all the happiest of seasons. And this next song here really talks about a Christmas blessing that we're extending to you as a choir, to the audience, to the band. And so I wanted to highlight the lyrics because sometimes the lyrics can get lost, and I didn't want to lose these. The light of the Christmas star to you, the warmth of home and hearth to you, the cheer and goodwill of friends to you, the hope of a childlike heart to you, the joy of 1,000 angels, the light of the Christmas star, the love of the Son of God to you, and the peace he brings to all. This is Christmas blessing.
That was great. Thank you, Fireside Singers. Thank you for joining us again this year. We really appreciate it. It's such a wonderful addition to our show. Thank you so much. All right, now I know, I will. 2 more trivia. Then we'll go on. Okay. The holiday song, written during the Cuban Missile Crisis as a plea for peace. 42? Did you imbibe during the intermission? 42? Oh. Okay, I'll take that, but it's still wrong. Anything else? Anyone? Excuse me? 63. We have 700 in the book, so 63 would probably be one. No. Do you have a title besides a number? Which song was written during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Sir? No, the name of the song, please. What's the date? That's what, yes. But what's the name of the song? Noel Regney, composer? Do you hear what I hear? Cool. All right, one more, and then the band will drag me off the game things. The first entrepreneur, owner of a department store, who dressed up as Santa Claus, the first department Santa Claus. Who is that? You know? You would think, but no. Who is that? Thank you. Wow, stand up. Who are you? Your hometown. Yay! All right. Brockton, Massachusetts then, right? Excellent. What year? 18. Hey, it was a milestone just getting in to the right person. Because nobody really knows that. So James Edgar is the right person. He owned a department store in Brockton, Massachusetts in 1890. He decided, I'm going to dress up as Santa Claus and see what happens, and he was overwhelmed. People came from miles around so that their kids could sit with Santa and talk and that. So he started it all. Thank you. All right, now we'll go on to the piece that I meant to say now. Merry Christmas to all.
Jesus is unto me, children, Jesus is
read the program, thanks. Glad somebody was paying attention. No, and we will do that. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for you, I'd be screaming it. But I figured I better talk first a little bit because there's so many things to say tonight as far as thank yous go. First of all, thank you, Fireside Singers. It's been wonderful to work with you again. And for this wonderful group of musicians, it is such a pleasure to work with you each and every week. Thank you so much. Kirk, on audio, thank you for your help tonight. Great job. Carmel, thank you on lights. Nick, thanks for doing the slideshow again, my friend. Thank you. Good job, baby. And also, I want to thank once again all of the workers. You see the Santa now in the second half? Thank you, Linda. Thank you, team. Devin team, thank you so much for the wonderful decoration. Thank you for coming, Santa. It's always good. Always good.
It's my pleasure. It's not like I have anything to do this time of year.
I know, thanks for squeezing us in. We're just glad to have you here. No matter what time. You can come in July.
Oh, you don't want to see me in shorts.
No, you're right, we don't. Okay, what else? Oh, if you notice out front at the table, we have CDs from our past several shows. You can take one. All we do is ask if you want to put a donation in the basket or whatever's out there for that, we would appreciate it. But those CDs are because of Danny, stand up. Oh, there you are. Danny Del Proposito. His wife, beautiful wife, Kim, is on the board in the back. And it's thank you, guys. You work hard. But not only did Danny do that, and Kim, of course, putting together our CDs, but we've also had Bob stand up. Bob Pesey is Al, the elf. Now, all this was Bobby's brainchild. If you were at the Let's Dance show for spring a couple of years ago, Bobby was out here wailing like crazy on the saxophone, and right after that, the Bob Pesey fan club started up. So if you're still interested, Bobby has done voiceovers professionally for years and years and years. And if you were at Halloween, he was Bobby Gould. But now at Christmas, he's Al. And he, along with Danny, put together the entire audio for the little skits that we had. And great job, guys. Thank you so much. Just the two of them did all those Merry Christmases and all that stuff at the end where it sounded like 75 people. And so that was a great job. Bob, of course, was also our narrator for it, wasn't it? So, thank you. All right, so now, you can go ahead and scream it. Keep screaming this way. I usually don't do it until, we've got money and flowers. All right, so we do have something for you as an encore. Carmel, lights on. we go. I did hear people yelling out in the corner of my head. So if you'd like, we'll do that little swing part again for you. Before you go, I know Christmas can be a really stressful time. You got shopping, you got decorating, you got baking, you got shopping. And it's really easy to forget the best parts of Christmas. Being here tonight, if you want. But, so we hope that the season doesn't get to you, and that we want to wish you and yours the happiest Christmas to be. So, thank you for joining us. We will finish up, and you can leave at any point in time, but we would like to do for you hot chocolate.
Merry Christmas and leave a lot of cookies.